My name is Whitley Carpenter, and I'm the Criminal Justice Staff Attorney for Forward Justice. In March of 2020, we all remember the world shutting down, the beginning of face masks and social distancing, and really being unsure about what this pandemic would bring. While many of us had the ability to stay home, social distance, and practice safe and healthy lifestyles to protect us from the then novel coronavirus, our brothers and sisters in prison did not. Forward Justice started our COVID decarceration campaign to protect the health and safety of people locked in the cages of the North Carolina prison system as much as possible. We heard stories of uninfected people being housed in close proximity to people who tested positive, and we heard stories of people being denied COVID tests or access to their test results. We even heard stories of people being retaliated against for filing a grievance or speaking up because of their concerns about their health in the prisons. We urge decision makers across the state to reduce the number of people incarcerated in North Carolina to no avail. We ultimately filed a lawsuit arguing that the procedures in place in our state prisons were not enough to address the urgency and severity of the escalating global pandemic, and that incarcerated people were suffering from cruel and unusual punishment as a direct result of our state's deliberate indifference to the harmful conditions people faced in their prisons. On February 25th, 2021, after a long fight in court, we entered a settlement agreement with the state mandating that 3,500 people be released early from our state prisons. The settlement also outlined various health protection measures and policies to be implemented inside the prisons for those who remained incarcerated. Ultimately, 4,455 people ended up being released early. This was historic. 4,455 people were able to go home to their families, to protect themselves from the deadly virus, and to restart their lives outside the walls of the prison cell. Our state prison population is now about 28,000. This is the lowest that it's been since 1994, when our sentencing structure in North Carolina was last changed. We have to build upon this. We have to continue decreasing the prison population. We have to continue creating and implementing alternatives to the practice of housing people in cages as a form of punishment. Our state prisons are still severely understaffed. Facilities are being consolidated, which leads to more overcrowding. There's a lack of sufficient health care and a lack of value for the lives of the human beings that are trapped in our carceral system. But this victory taught us that prison population reduction is possible, and we will continue to fight for a system where people's lives are valued, even if they made a mistake. I hope to see a system that one day approaches criminal justice from a rehabilitative framework rather than a punitive framework. And we will continue fighting to shift culture and narrative and change harmful laws and policies until that vision becomes a reality.